Welcome to the Uniform Capabilities Management Training. This video will demonstrate how to facilitate a training using Teams while guiding you step by step through the creation of a Teams channel, scheduling a Teams meeting, together with features such as adding titles, adding attendees, setting dates and times for a meeting, adding a channel to a scheduled meeting, and adding meeting details. We will also learn how to access scheduled training sessions, understanding how to use the multiple participants list options, as can be hand raising, mute options, and downloading the attendance list. And finally, we will learn how to use the meeting chat, setting audio devices with the device settings, recording sessions, using your camera, and how to share content during a training. Let's begin with the creation of a Teams channel. First of all, you'll have to make sure that you click on the Teams icon here, the one I'm hovering over. Once you click on that icon and you see the Teams channels displayed, you'll simply have to go all the way to the bottom of the screen where it says Join or Create a Team. You click, and once you do so, you'll have the options to create a team, as I'm showing right here on screen. You just simply click on Create Team, and you select from scratch. Once you have selected from scratch, you have the option to either choose private or public, where anyone can join, or simply the ones that you add to this team channel. We can now create one using the public option and give it a name. For example, in this case, I'm going to call it Test 1 UCM Training. Also, you can write a description of the Teams channel here at the bottom section. Once you're done, you can simply click on Create, and Teams will create your channel. Once that is created, you also have the option to start adding members to this channel. For example, by simply typing the name of your colleagues. In this case, I'm going to add 2 of the trainers. And I'm going to click on Add. Once that is done, you have the option to give the members that you have just added a role in the channel, for example, owner or member. Your trainees can be added as members, while other trainers or staff members that are helping you with the facilitation of this training can be called owners, as I'm going to do in this case. I'm going to add Daniel Criado as an owner, and I'll leave Saida Sagir as a member, as if she were simply an attendee to this training. Once that is done, you simply click on Close, and your Teams channel will be created all the way at the bottom, as you see here. The newest channel you create will always show at the bottom of your screen. Once your channel is created, as you can see at the bottom of the screen here, Test 1 UCM Training, you have 2 options, the General option below, and then the name of the channel above. If you want to add new members or manage your channel, you simply have to click on the More Options, which is shown here by the 3 dots icon. And once you click on it, always using the channel title name, you can manage your team channel, and here have the option to still add any members just by clicking on the Add Member button here. As you can see, I have Daniel Criado and myself as the owners, and you can still change that even after you have created it, as well as Saida as a member of the training. Okay, if I wanted to change Daniel now to a member, that will happen as well, and he'll simply go below where it says Members and Guests. This will be the first step in the creation of a training using Teams. The first thing you have to do, remember, is to click on the Teams icon and click on Join or Create a Team, give it a title, add the members, and simply submit. Once it's created, you can always access through the More Options section, click on Manage Team, and make sure here that you have added the members properly. So every time you have a new trainee, or if you already know the names of the trainees that are going to join you in your training, you simply click on Add a Member and add their names here, and click on Add when you know. You'll have to add them one by one, and once you have all your members and the members and guest list below, you have created your channel successfully. Once you are done creating your channel, you can schedule a Teams meeting. To do so, go to the calendar icon on the left side of the screen on the Teams application, and once you click on it, your calendar will display as you can see now on screen. Simply select the time and date of your training. For example, if I were to book a training on December 1st, 2020 at 12:30, you can simply double click on that area and the options to create a meeting will appear. You simply add a title, in this case I'll call it Test 1 UCM Training Video. You add the required attendees. In this case I will also add the 2 trainers involved in this training. Make sure that you set the correct date and time as you have the options here. I will only book it for half an hour for the purpose of this video. And you also have the repetition selection options. For example, does not repeat, or repeats daily, or weekly, or monthly, etc. In this case, I'm going to select does not repeat as it's only going to happen once. And very importantly, since we have already created our channel, this is the section where we will be adding the channel that we have just created. You simply click, and then the channels that you are a member of or that you have created will appear below. Simply scroll and find the channel that you have just created. For example, Test 1 UCM Training is the one I created earlier. You simply select it, select the general option, and your channel will appear in your meeting. Like this, every meeting that you have will be linked to that channel, and you will be able to extract the recordings from that channel and keep the chats all in one single place. You don't have to indicate a location, for example here as it's occurring in Teams, and below you can add any details to this training meeting that you are creating. For example, testing UCM training video. Of course, you could always add the agenda to the training here, or any details you would want the trainees to know before the training start date. Once you have added the title, attendees, ensure date and time are correct, and you've linked the meeting to your channel, you simply click on Send so that all the invitees receive the invitation to the training. Once we have scheduled our meeting, we can always go back to the Teams channel we have created previously, as I'm doing now. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the channel created, and when I click on General, I can already see the meeting invitation that I have created within the channel. That's why it's important to link the channel to the meeting that you are creating. This way you can track any of the meetings or any of the trainings that you have scheduled, and they will all be related to one theme or to one channel. In this case, the training that you have facilitated on UCM. Once it appears in your channel, simply double-click on the meeting invitation to access this scheduled meeting. You can do so directly through the channel by just simply double-clicking on it. You see this is the same one I created previously, and just clicking on Join. Before joining your meeting, Teams allows you to either start with your camera on, mute yourself, or simply directly join with your mic unmuted. It's always recommendable to start the meeting with your mic muted and also your camera off. Just click on Join Now to start the meeting. Once you're ready to join the meeting, simply click on Join Now. Once you do so, you'll see that Teams has now started the meeting and is waiting for others to join. You can maximize your screen manually or simply click on the maximize button here at the top left of your screen. Automatically, Teams will have muted your mic and also shut your camera off because these are the selections that you have started with. One of the first features you should become familiar with is the Show Participants option. Once you click on it, you'll see the list of participants that are joining your training, if they have accepted or not responded yet. You can even request them to join if by any chance they should already be in your meeting and they have not appeared yet. In the participants list, you have the More Options icon that allows you, once you click on it, to either not allow attendees to unmute, so you have total control of muting and unmuting them. You can also manage their permissions, and you can also download the attendance list. This feature is very useful once you have delivered a training and you want to know exactly who has participated in your training. This, once again, is accessed through the More Options icon here at the top right section of the participants list. Besides the options of unmuting or muting your participants, managing their permissions, and downloading the attendance list, the participants list also allows you to view who is speaking at what time during the training. You'll simply have to take a look at the invitees list and make sure that their microphone shows as mine does here under mute. If it is unmuted, for example, in this case I'm going to unmute myself, you'll see that their microphone is active and you'll know exactly who is speaking. You simply go to their name and mute them. Also, if a participant would like to speak up but cannot unmute themselves because you have selected the option to not allow attendees to unmute, they can raise their hand. This is a very useful option, as if once the attendee clicks on it, you will know, as you can see here in the right of my screen under the participants list, that there's a hand raised next to a participant who wants to speak up or intervene in the training. Simply find that participant with the hand raised next to them and manually unmute them. Once the participant has intervened, they can simply click on the hand raise icon and this time lower it. The chat option in Teams will allow attendees and trainers to share their thoughts in writing. Sometimes attendees may not want to intervene orally during a training and will choose to write a message using the chat. They simply write their text in the chat box as follows. And the trainers will have visibility of different queries attendees are sharing during the chat, or if any student wants to intervene in writing instead of orally, or simply wants to share a thought. The chat is also very useful for trainers to add attachments. Simply click on the attachment icon, and this will allow you to upload files from your computer. This is a very useful option when you want to share PowerPoints immediately with your students as you're going on with your training. Any images, attached files, text messages, recordings, and so on, Teams will keep track of them in the chat and will always be accessible even after the training has finished. Another option that is offered in Teams under the More Actions icon, if you click on it, you will have the option to set your device settings here by clicking on Device Settings. If, for example, you're having trouble with your audio or a microphone, simply ensure by clicking on Device Settings that your device is actually connected correctly. For example, here I only have the option for the internal mic and headphones, the ones I'm using. The same thing for the speaker, which I'm using the built-in output, the microphone that I have also connected, and making sure that the camera is set up properly. Always take a look at the device settings before you start a training. It's always recommendable to join your own meeting 10-15 minutes before the training begins to ensure that your audio device is working properly. Once again, to do so, simply click on the More Actions icon, click on Device Settings, and ensure that your device settings are properly set up so that people can hear you and you can hear the attendees. Other options under the More Actions will be the starting of the recording. You can simply click on the start of the recording to start recording a session, and you'll see a message that says you are recording this meeting, and make sure to let everyone know they're being recorded. They will also receive a message that they can dismiss, warning them that the recording has started. This is very important that you remember to do this before a training has begun if students are requesting the training to be recorded. Once the session is over, you simply go back to the More Actions icon and click on Stop the Recording. Once you do so, you confirm, and the recording will now be saved into your Teams channel. If you wish to turn on your camera, simply click on the icon of the camera and turn it on. It's as simple as clicking on it to activate it and then clicking on it again to turn the camera off. Once you're in a Teams meeting and you would like to share your screen or content, you simply go to the icon here called Share Content, click on it, and Teams will allow you to share different windows or documents in that Teams channel. For example, the desktop will allow everyone to see anything that's in your desktop or any screen that is open at any time in your desktop. This is usually the best option when sharing your screen so that people can always follow everything you're doing no matter what application or screen you're on, and not only the Teams application. If you select the window option, they will only be able to see the window that you're currently sharing. So always ensure to share your desktop. As I'm going to do now, simply click on it. You will see a red frame showing you that now your screen is shared and anyone in this meeting will be able to see exactly what you are doing on screen. To stop sharing your screen, simply go back to your meeting and click on the Share option to stop sharing your screen. Once you are done with your training, simply click on the Leave button and close the meeting.